Have you ever been so angry you weaponized your lunch? It sounds ridiculous, right? But sometimes the most unexpected things become symbols of frustration. Most of us haven't, but one man in DC did just that. In a city where tempers can flare as quickly as the summer heat, even a sandwich can become a tool for protest. Meet Sean Charles Dunn, a Department of Justice employee who turned a Subway sandwich into a statement and a federal case. He wasn't just grabbing lunch. He was about to make headlines in a way no one could have predicted. In a city where politics is everywhere, even lunch can become a political act. Every bite, every gesture, can be loaded with meaning when you work in the shadow of the Capitol. Dunn's sandwich-throwing moment transformed him from anonymous bureaucrat to the star of a legal drama. Suddenly, he was the talk of the town, his actions dissected by pundits and late-night hosts alike. Picture it. A federal officer on duty, suddenly pelted by a flying footlong in broad daylight. The scene was as surreal as it was shocking, leaving bystanders stunned and officials scrambling for answers. This wasn't just a protest, it was a bizarre escalation, a snapshot of modern American absurdity. In a city used to heated debates, this was a new kind of confrontation, one that no one saw coming. The line between civil servant and sandwich-wielding protester, apparently thinner than a slice of deli meat. In DC, even your lunch order can become a statement. As we dive in, we'll break down the confrontation, the legal fallout, and the public's wild reaction. What started as a simple lunch break quickly spiraled into a citywide spectacle. So grab a snack, but keep it on your plate. You never know when your lunch might become headline news. You're about to witness the great sandwich showdown of 2025. Get ready for a story that's as unbelievable as it is unforgettable. It's early August, 2025. The city of Washington, D.C. wakes to a humid morning, the air thick with anticipation and unease. Political tensions in D.C. are at a boiling point. Crowds gather outside government buildings, their voices echoing through the streets as police and security forces brace for unrest. Amidst the chaos, Customs and Border Protection Agent Gregory Larimore stands at his post. Suddenly, Sean Dunn storms forward, his anger palpable, shouting, You f***ing fascists! Why are you here?" The confrontation draws the attention of everyone nearby. But Dunn's protest doesn't end with words. In a moment that will soon become infamous, he hurls his Subway sandwich with surprising force, striking the agent squarely in the chest. The crowd gasps, some in shock, others in disbelief. Was it a meatball marinara dripping with sauce or a turkey breast with extra mayo? We may never know. But what's certain is that this was a statement. A protest delivered with a side of lunch and a whole lot of attitude. Dunn tries to make a run for it, but police are quick to react. Within moments, he's apprehended, his brief act of rebellion brought to an abrupt end. In the interrogation room, Dunn doesn't hesitate. He looks the officers in the eye and confesses, "I did it, I threw a sandwich." No attempt to deny, no elaborate story, just the simple truth. No excuses, no drama, just a man, a cop, and a soggy act of defiance that would soon ripple far beyond the city streets. The entire incident, captured on security cameras and bystanders' phones, spreads like wildfire online. Within hours, it's a viral sensation, sparking debates and laughter across the country. It's slapstick, it's political, and it's very, very real. News anchors can hardly believe what they're reporting, and social media explodes with memes and commentary. Sometimes protest is messy, and sometimes it's literally lunch. In a city known for its history-making moments, this one stands out for its absurdity and for the sandwich that started it all. The legal system didn't laugh. What started as a bizarre incident quickly escalated into a serious legal battle, showing just how unpredictable the law can be. Dunn was charged with felony assault on a federal officer, yes, for a sandwich. The charge sounded almost unbelievable, but the consequences were all too real. A felony could have ruined his life, leaving him with a permanent record and years behind bars. But when the case hit the grand jury, they refused to indict, deciding the evidence just didn't add up to a major crime. Their message was clear: a footlong isn't a deadly weapon, even in DC. The grand jury's decision sent a ripple through the courtroom, and maybe even a sigh of relief. Prosecutors weren't amused. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro vowed to pursue misdemeanor charges instead, determined to hold Dunn accountable for his actions, even if the charge was less severe. Dunn lost his DOJ job and still faces fines or jail, but the threat of a life-altering felony is gone. The fallout from the case has already changed his life, and the legal process isn't over yet. The case highlights the blurry line between protest and assault, and whether a sandwich can really be a weapon. It raises questions about intent, context, and how the law interprets unusual acts of protest. For now, the justice system says, don't throw food at federal officers, but maybe don't call it a felony either. The outcome sets a precedent for future cases that blur the line between protest and crime. Dunn's legal saga continues, but the stakes are lower, and the story somehow even stranger. As the case unfolds, it serves as a reminder that sometimes the law can be just as unpredictable as the people it governs. The public reaction? A mix of laughter, outrage, and endless memes. Some see Dunn as a folk hero in a farce, others see a dangerous assault on law enforcement. The internet debates the sandwich's type and trajectory, while officials are anything but amused. U.S. Attorney Pirro calls the incident chaos, and vows to seek maximum penalties, framing it as a symbol of disorder in the Capitol. The sandwich story becomes more than a joke. It's a flashpoint in debates over protest, respect, and the state of the nation. In D.C., even lunch can spark a national conversation. What does it mean when a sandwich becomes a political weapon? On the surface, it's absurd, a DOJ employee hurling lunch at a CBP agent. But it's also a sign of our polarized times where protest gets personal and even edible. The grand jury's refusal to indict on a felony shows a public weary of overreach, but not of accountability. The Great Sandwich Showdown is a snapshot of modern America. Angry, divided, and sometimes just plain weird. The lesson? Use your words, not your lunch. Protest with a sign, not a sub. It's less messy, and far less likely to land you in court.